got away with the numbers. Underneath the lamp he sits and ponders every form and every line. He's here to help you make things fine. Tax time, it ain't so bad with Dana by your side. Don't feel sad, refunds and answers to set you free. Tax time with Dana, it's where you wanna be.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tax Time with Dana, episode 6. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the chat. I figured I would go live tonight. Maybe some of you tuned in for my little rant I had earlier. We'll try to be a little bit more positive tonight because yesterday was February 15th, and we all know what that means. Hopefully, you know what it means. That path was lifted. So, I figured we'd go over the timeline of what to expect when we might see some updates. And, we'll just hang out. So, as I said, yesterday was when path lifted. And, of course, as predicted, I logged into the tax forums today on Reddit and on Facebook, and just countless people freaking out that they didn't see where's my refund update. They didn't see any updates on their transcripts today. So the common misconception is with a lot of people that haven't really followed this over the past several years is that just because path lifts doesn't mean there's going to be an immediate update to the system. There's going to be kind of a waiting period based on the days that they do the processing. So we always talk about, we have the daily batch processors of returns and the weekly batch. So I'm expecting that the first round of Path Act filers to see those daily batch updates later this week. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow's a holiday. Could be as early as Tuesday, but more than likely Wednesday, Thursday, some of those dailies. So if your cycle code, if you look on your transcript and your cycle code ends in 01, 02, 03, 04, I'm guessing, it's an educated guess. Wednesday, Thursday is probably when you would see those transcripts update. And then on Friday, it's going to be the big, massive update for those people that have 05 on their transcripts. And, of course, like we do every year, since Friday, we're expecting a big mass transcript update for the most amount of people, since like 80-85% of the Path Act filers are weekly updaters. On Thursday night, we will have a live stream to celebrate. So if we're going to look at the my calendar here, Tuesday, we're going to see some small updates probably. Tuesday, like I said, tomorrow, the 17th, is a holiday. Wednesday, Thursday, there'll be some more daily updates. And then Friday is that first weekly batch. And then whatever day you see an 846 refund issued code on your transcript, that is when you will see the following day when you see where's my refund update. Where are we here? I probably could have pulled some transcripts so we could look at some examples. But as questions come in the chat, I'll certainly answer those. And so let's see. We have a question from Lola. When you have good codes, all good codes, does that mean you are fully processed? Until you see that 846 refund issued code, your return is not fully processed. However, if you're worried about if your return is going to be held for review or not, if you've updated and you start to see, I do have a screenshot of something like this on. If you start to see codes, but there's no freeze codes, no 570, no 810s, you just see the credits like the 806 withholding, the 766, 768, whatever credits you may have, and then nothing else, you're usually in the clear as far as not really at risk of getting held for review, because if you were going to get a freeze code, it likely would have appeared when those other codes went onto your transcript. So at that point, you're just pretty much waiting for the 846. And once that 846 pops, that's when you're fully processed. But if you have the codes posted, you're already pretty much in the final stages of processing. How long that final stage can take really depends on, are you on path? Are they reviewing your return, in which case you would see the hold code? So the final stage can take anywhere from, at this point, I said Lola. Layla, the codes for 2 weeks. Yeah, so pretty much everyone that updated, that's been on the Path Act that updated 2 weeks ago that doesn't have hold codes, they've been seeing pretty much the same thing. So if you have, so I talked about the cycle codes. If you look at the cycle code on this transcript, 2025-06-05, right at the top there, if that cycle code is no 5, you are more than likely going to see the update on Friday, this coming Friday. And hey, Epic. Yeah, so and then in the past, we noticed I think it was last year, was the first, it might have been the year before last, we started seeing some O5s update on Thursdays too, on the first week after Path lifted. Once the first week was over, then it just returned to the normal cycle. But last year, it was like a Wednesday, maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and there was like a handful of people that had O5s that actually saw an update earlier than they expected. And it's something that we've seen like the past year or two. But once that first week is over of Path updates, and then they go to the normal cycle every week after that, it's pretty much follows the same cycle it's always followed. So we already got some questions here. There's people coming into the chat, so we might as well just go through them here. Light 7 Mine says, accepted and anticipated refund date on my H&R Block app is the 17th. The IRS website still on 1 bar. Yeah. Well, I can tell you that it won't be going tomorrow. The 17th is a holiday, so there will not be any refunds going through on the 17th. And if you are on the Path Act, you likely won't see any updates. If you're not checking your transcripts and you don't have any idea what your codes are, the earliest Where's My Refund update this week will be on Wednesday. And that's going to be, like I said, for a very small number of people. The largest number of people that are going to see Where's My Refund update will be on Saturday. 704. I had to respond to the IRS. They gave me a letter for marketplace confirmation. I had to send them the 1095A and then 8962. I sent it last Tuesday and I got the first bar back. Is that good? So hopefully you sent it, like you said, you sent it last Tuesday. So hopefully they received it quickly and they input that information into the system quickly. And then as long as they put it through to push it through for final processing, it is good. Although sometimes that can take, if you have to send paperwork in, sometimes it takes them a couple extra weeks to process it. I definitely would, if you have access to your transcripts and what the transcript system, do I have slides for this too? Let's see. Just bear with me, guys. I'm going to see if I have. Gonna pull up some different slideshows here to see if I have. Okay, this one's doesn't do me any good. Okay. The ID.me, Do I have any pages of it? I had some slides that showed you what you'd be looking for on the ID.me, but if you go to the IRS page and you say, get transcripts, check transcripts online. If you don't have an ID.me account, it's perfectly safe to do it through the IRS. Do the ID.me. This is the way to get the most updated information. It's a lot more updated than Where's My Refund. Where's My Refund always lags behind the transcript system on ID.me. And so you would see if they, for example, on this person's question here about the letters, they would be able to tell before Where's My Refund ever updated, they would be able to tell on their transcript if there was a release of their refund. Because likely if they would have checked their transcripts now, there would be like a 570 or an 810 code that they're holding the refund until they get that paperwork and process it. And then once they process that paperwork on the transcript, there would be like a 571 or an 811 release code that would unfreeze their refund, and then they would know they were all set. And that would all happen long before, not long before, but the day before, which I guess in 2025 is long before because people are very impatient. But it would happen long before the Where's My Refund page updates. Roxy's Slots and More Vlogs. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, checking transcripts is the most current way to see what is going on in your tax profile. And if you don't know what a transcript is, this is... I had it up here the whole time. And this is what the... this page here is what the transcript page would look like when you log into ID.me. And you would see the different available transcripts: account transcript, return transcript, wage and income transcript, and record of account transcript. And the one, when we talk about checking transcripts, and I've done countless videos on this, and you can always go on to the DSEN channel and look at the tax resources playlist, but the transcripts you want to pull up and look at those codes is the account transcript, and you want to go to the most recent year, which is 2024. And then when you pull up that, if your return has posted to the system, you would have codes. Sometimes it's not available, and they'll see like a letter of non-filing, or they'll click on the account transcript and there'll be like all zeros and nothing will be populated. That just means it hasn't posted to the system yet. And when we talk about it posting to the system, it means it's in the final stages of processing. People might say like, oh, how come it hasn't posted? I filed like weeks ago. It's because the posting happens when it's in the last stages. So once again, where are we on this? The schedule? Layla asked what days do they do deposits. All the deposits are done Mondays through Fridays. Now, some people have what we call non-hold banks, which means when the IRS does a direct deposit, they schedule it out. So, for example, the people that are going to update on Friday, on the 21st, and see their transcripts update to an 846, or they log into Where's My Refund and they see Where's My Refund with 2 bars on the 22nd. The date those people are going to see is Wednesday, February 26th for a deposit. And what's going to happen is the IRS is going to send a notification to those banks that they'll be sending the money out. And in many cases, if you have a no-hold bank, once they've gotten word from the IRS that they're going to be getting that sum of money, some banks will release that money a few days early. So you might see that money hit your account on a Monday or Tuesday if you have a non-hold bank. Some banks wait until the day it's actually scheduled for. But there is one example of this I gave in one of my other streams, is that this year TurboTax offered a service that they're telling you can get your tax refund up to 5 days early. for a $25 fee. And basically what they're saying is if you pay TurboTax $25, what they will do is as soon as you're going to get your tax refund routed through their third-party bank, which is SBTPG or whatever, once they get notified that the IRS has a date for your return, which it's probably going to happen on Friday. They'll start sending the notifications out to the banks on Friday if your return is scheduled for the 26th. Then they will immediately make the money available. So there will be people that paid that fee on TurboTax to get the early refund that as soon as their transcripts update on the 21st with an 846, later that day, they're going to see the money hit their accounts because they paid that fee. And that's based on what's already happened this tax season. The people that already have went through that service with TurboTax that paid the $25 fee to have the early refund, the same day that their transcripts updated, most of them got their refund the same day. Why Robbie asks, good evening. I recently filed my return last week and my return was accepted. However, I don't see a transcript for 2024 as of right now. Is it too soon for it to be posted? Yeah, last week it's borderline. It depends on where you fall in the cycle. If your cycle code is 01 through 04, it could post any day this week. If it's 05, it's probably going to post on Friday. But if there's no problems with the return and you're not, you would likely see it probably fall into the cycle where it's probably going to post on Friday. There's no guarantee that there'll be a refund code on it because the people that see the refund codes, there's like a certain cutoff date where those people are going to see the 846s. So it might be too soon to see an 846 on your transcript this coming Friday, which means it would be the following likely. But yeah, it's a little soon. I wouldn't expect to see anything before Friday unless you have a different cycle code. So once again, on the path, people waiting for the path. And of course, how do you know if you fall under path? You're welcome. The way you know you fall into path is if you claimed earned income tax credit, additional child tax credit, regular child tax credit, doesn't matter. You wouldn't fall into the PATH Act. Of course, after the 15th, it doesn't matter because everyone's going to start getting processed together now as far as PATH, non-PATH. But for those people that leading up, a lot of early filers, people that filed mid-January, end of January, that had to wait because they have earned income tax credit or additional child tax credit, those people are the ones that we're specifically talking about when we're talking about PATH lifting. And then once PATH lifts, it's strictly going by cycle codes. In other words, where you look at your transcript, where is that cycle code? Is it an 05? Is it an 01? Is it an 03, 04? I always tell people, yes, the very first week after PATH lifts, 05, if you're an 05, you may see a transcript update before Friday. But in most cases, most people will see the transcript update on Friday. And after this week, it's going to be the same cycle it always is. 01 through 04, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 05s we'll see updates on Fridays. Anyone fall victim to the transcript crash? You guys got me? Thumbs up if you hear me. I don't even know what was heard. My mic keeps 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. This is crazy. My mic keeps cutting out. All right. Let's see here. Anthony. I'm an 05 cycle code, also on PathAct. I have a 150-22405. I don't have an 046. Yep. So as long as you're not seeing a hold code, you should be okay, Anthony. We talked about the transcripts. A lot of people are seeing a transcript like this, where they just have like the withholding, the credits, their dollar amounts. As long as you're not seeing like a 570, a 420, an 810 freeze code, you're probably in the clear. You're just waiting for the 846, which is going to happen for most people. Most people on PathAct are going to see it, the transcript update on Friday, which is our calendar here that we pulled up. There will be some small batch updates starting on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, scattered. You'll see some people on the forums, if you follow that. Don't panic if yours hasn't updated, because like 85% of the Path actors will see their transcripts update on Friday. 766, 768, that's child tax credit, earned income tax credit. And the negative numbers are the credit amounts. I did a video, a live stream, a couple days ago. If you guys want to see how those numbers impact what your total refund is, how that's calculated. There's been a lot of questions on people add the numbers and they think it's not adding up, but they're not taking into account all the numbers on the transcript that are factored into your refund amount. And I did a video on that. So if you ever want to check that one out, it's in the tax resources playlist, but I can also show you which specific video that was. We'll share the YouTube screen. Here's the DSEN YouTube page. And if you go onto my latest videos, the IRS tax transcript code 150, what is it? I've made this video several times. This is probably the most detailed I've ever gone through the 150 code. And I talk about how they calculated, how you can calculate the refund. I also show you the quick way to figure it out, but also how that what numbers are on your transcript play a part in your refund amount. Because sometimes people will see the 768 number and they'll say, "Oh, is that my refund?" Or they'll see they'll look at like the 806 number, be like, oh, is that my refund? Or they'll look at the 150 number and be like, why does it say I owe money? And I explain how that all factors in. So if you're ever curious about how that works, you can look at the tax transcript code 150 video that explains that in detail. 154 views. I remember when my videos used to get thousands, even hundreds of thousands of views before YouTube buried me. That's the real crime here. If you guys are into true crime, there's a crime that's been committed. And it's the crime that YouTube has committed against DSEN, where they've buried me with the algorithm. Fortunately, we've got some loyal followers that come back every year, and they saw the bones of DSEN, and they pulled us up, and with the modern day technology, we were able to revive the tax videos. Anthony, thank you for the info. You're the man. I'm glad everything is good and normal. Yeah, glad for you too. We'll cross our fingers and hopefully you fall in that group of people that see that update this week. Once again, everyone, remember, tune into the DSEN live stream this coming Thursday night. We'll be going live for the weekly batch party for the first path updates on the transcripts. Yes, some path actors will have already updated by then, but most path actors, as I said, will be updating on Friday. Dharma Bezzy, I've been subbed since forever, and I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. We had one person in the comments in my last live stream, and it dawned on me who it was, and because they had changed their name. And they're not here today, but I'll shut them out if they pop in. Much more low-key than my meltdown I had today. I get really passionate about seeing people get screwed over, and there's a very large chunk of the American population that's about to get screwed over in the next year. So everybody enjoy your refunds this year, because we may not be getting them anymore. If the ultra-conservative wing of the Republican Party get their way, they will be getting rid of the child tax credit and the dependent care credit, or the dependent care deduction, and changing the earned income tax credit to something completely different to get less people to claim it. So effectively, they'll be eliminating any chance of refunds for a very large section of the population. Is it guaranteed to happen? It's not going to happen. It's not guaranteed. Nothing's set in stone. But just going through some of my slides to see if there's anything we can talk about. Anything I haven't really covered. I know some people came in late. I just wanted to make a live stream about the Path Act specific tonight because, like I said, I did go on the forums today and there was people already panicking that they weren't seeing updates, which if you follow this channel, you know, you would have known already. But Going through the slides here. Here's a timeline I made right at the beginning of the year. So I predicted that Tuesday the 18th would be the first small batch updates we'd start seeing, with Wednesday being the Where's My Refund updates. I'm starting to believe it's probably going to be a day later than that. Like the transcripts will update on Wednesday and the Where's My Refunds will update on Thursday for those people, but it could be Tuesday, Wednesday. Regardless, it's Friday that's the biggest update. What's this one here? Taking a look at transcripts if you want to figure out what your refund is without having to do all the calculations. You just look at your account balance, the negative number. So on this one on top left, negative $15,471. This person's getting a $15,000 tax refund. I stalked the IRS website after your live breakdown. I believe they really want to take it. Yeah. A little bit of a breakdown. I got some hate in the comments too. Can't believe it. Usually people would be against the government taking money out of their pockets, but apparently people really don't mind. Who knew? Here's a different mixed income. This person has a $7,683 transcript. I pulled these off of the internet. But you'll notice there's no personal information from people in here. These are things that people openly posted to their forums, so... I suppose I could show you some of the nonsense I was looking at today. Let me pull it up here. And I think the reason a lot of people don't care about this, I was actually talking to Caitlin about this today, unless people are faced with the immediate effects of something, it doesn't feel real to them. It doesn't feel like a threat. And a big part of what the Republicans in Congress are trying to do is conform to what Elon Musk is doing with Doge, which is enrich his pockets and screw everybody else, I guess, for being honest. Okay, the fine print. I'm just trying to find this this 50-page document I had here. All right, here's the Ways and Means reconciliation. Stop this screen, present the reconciliation. So this is like their spending plan. This is how they plan to cut funding to pay for tax cuts. And it covers everything from healthcare to taxes. So the things that caught my eye at first was the tax portion. Obviously, I make my videos on taxes, repealing the green energy tax, ending the employee retention tax credit. There's a bunch of different options for child tax credit, and one of them is completely eliminating the child tax credit. The SALT deduction, which is state and local tax. Like if you itemize deductions, you can get a deduction based on the amount of taxes you paid to your state and to your town. They want to eliminate that. They want to eliminate the sales tax deduction proportion of the state and local tax. They want to eliminate the business SALT deduction. They want to eliminate the home mortgage interest deduction. This isn't low income people that are affected here. This is middle income. This is the middle class. This is the people that they try to pit against each other. They constantly try to pit the middle income and low income people against each other. And guess what? They're all in the same ocean because they're just trying to pay for the tax cuts for the richest Americans. Eliminate the lifetime learning credit. Like I said, these are all like the options they have on the table, and the thing is that the Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, so a lot of this could end up happening. You'll notice everything is eliminate deduction interest on eliminate the deduction of interest on student loans. So right now students can pay, or anyone paying student loans can deduct the interest that they pay every year. They want to eliminate that. And I'm not saying everything in this plan is horrible. Like I said, I read all 50 pages. I mean, 75% of it is disastrous, though. Restructure earned income tax credit. So they say that the earned income tax credit had estimated improper payment rate of 33.5%, totaling $22 billion. This policy would simplify the EITC by breaking it down into a worker credit and a child credit, allowing for more accurate eligibility verifications and reducing improper payments. Oh. So they'll make you wait even longer for it? That's one option. The other option was they eliminate it, which if I can find it, I will. Eliminate the TNAF, that's transitional aid to needy families contingency fund, or TNAF work requirements. require school attendance for SSI benefits. There are a lot of people, a lot of kids that are on SSI that on disability. Well, if your kid's under 18, they're disabled, they have to go to school. Otherwise, they won't get the benefits. Reduce TNAF. This is what's commonly known as welfare, everyone. Reduce that by 10%. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. Cap the SNAP monthly benefit, maximum benefit. Oh, cap the end the linkage, the heat and eat benefit. So when people get food stamps, they calculate your rent, they calculate what you pay for electric bill, they calculate what you pay for heat, they calculate what you pay for cell phone bill. If you submit all those, they can factor all that in to determine what you get. They want to eliminate that. So it doesn't matter what you pay, what your expenses are. You're going to get the same amount no matter what. Those are dummy trolls. They will find out it's too late if they don't save this year. Here's the thing, and this is what I've learned being in local politics. Like I said, people don't care if it's not immediate. So I'll give you an example. Locally here in our city, we had a preschool that was closing, and this was like in the plans for 4 years. We had a closing plan for it. So in other words, we have a abundance of students in our city, and we have not enough space for them all. So our plan was to close this preschool, which is like a standalone building. It's basically the size of an elementary school, but it's also one of the oldest buildings. So our plan was to close that preschool, and move them into a much larger building, not too far away from where the preschool was. Much larger building, but it would also be combined with like a different program for students in the town as well. This plan was in the works for 5 years, and then this year is when we implemented that plan. We closed the school, we moved the kids to this bigger school, and the amount of people that were furious over the fact that their kids were changing schools, and they were dumbstruck. They couldn't believe it, but they just hadn't been paying attention, or they hadn't been real to them because it wasn't immediate. If something's not immediate to someone, they're not going to believe it's real. They're not going to feel the effects of it. So because a lot of these tax plans, they don't apply to this year, so they're not going to affect anyone's taxes this year. They're not thinking about it. They're only thinking about, what are my taxes this year? But next year, when they go to file their taxes, if say they eliminate the child tax credit, or they reduce it by 50%, and all of a sudden they're used to getting a $2,000 refund every year, and now they're paying $1,000, that's when they're going to feel it. Paul, Top Notch Fishing. Mine said 05 cycle code with a March 3rd. Okay, don't go by that March 3rd date. If you have codes on your... We'll return to our transcript here, our mock transcript here. If you have codes on your transcript, like the credit codes, 766, 768, you don't see any 570, 420, 810, nothing that says freeze or refund holds. If you don't see any of that, you're going to get it well before March 3rd. You're going to see an update. You could see an update by Friday, the 21st, with a deposit by Wednesday, the 26th, if everything lines up for you. So I guess my question would be, do you see those codes? Do you see any of these codes yet? If you do, then you could be in that batch of refunds coming next week. Mine looks like yours, yeah. Yep, so I would not be shocked if you see an update with an 846 refund issued code at the end of this week by Friday. So good luck. Yes, hopefully we get a refund update on Friday as well. We'll be waiting for it. So we'll be going live on Thursday night. Probably around the same time. I started at 8. What time? Well, I started at 9:15 tonight. I'll probably start at 8:30 on Thursday. I do have some committee business on Thursday, but hopefully that will be taken care of by then. I usually try to steer clear of political talk. I couldn't resist today. I was all worked up. I did pull that video down, not because of people being mean to me. I really don't care. You know, if people want to get railroaded by people in government, that's on them. But nobody told me how bad the sound was. Some of you guys were in that live stream. You could have told me that it sounded horrible. So if you guys have just joined the stream, I see the number fluctuating up and down, so I know there's some people coming in and out. So if you have just joined the stream, we've been talking about the PATH Act lifting yesterday, and what we can expect this week, what the timeline looks like, when are the updates going to come. People were panicking today because they didn't see an update immediately. But rest assured, it is coming, everybody. Take a deep breath. The week is finally upon us. We will start seeing some small updates this week, with the largest update for most people coming on Friday. If you have the ability to check your transcripts on id.me. And once you see that 846, the very next day, you will see the Where's My Refund update. And if you have a non-hold bank, once again, a non-hold bank is the type of bank that has the ability to make the money of a deposit available to you sooner than the scheduled date, because they get the notification from the IRS that the deposit's coming, so they just make it available to you. So if you have a non-hold bank, you could see it a few days before the scheduled date. If you paid for the TurboTax early refund, not the refund advance, that's a different service, the early refund, it was a $25 fee they charged to people. I think if you did the refund advance, you did not have this option. But some people didn't do the refund advance and opted for the early refund payment from TurboTax. So if you paid that $25 fee, then a lot of people have been seeing the money hit their account the same day or within a day of the transcript updating to the 846. So as early as 5 days before the day that the IRS scheduled their payments. And if you didn't pay for that, then you're just going to have to wait. But it's a few days difference. Still a week and a half away to the actual deposits, but we're in the home stretch here. We are definitely in the home stretch of the early filers that filed in the first couple weeks, well, the mid to end of January, the first week in February. Those are the people I'm most expecting to see the updates. And then I would expect people that filed like last week probably not to be in this first batch. You could be, theoretically you could be. But if not this batch, the next batch, the following Friday, would see updates. So, like I said, next Thursday, or this coming Thursday, we'll be having a live stream to celebrate that big batch update. I hope everyone can join us. And we'll commiserate and we'll wait for those transcript updates to happen. A lot of people do ask often what time do the transcripts update. They can start updating as early as 12 a.m. and they update throughout the day. So you'll see the biggest round of updates occur to the transcripts. The transcript system updates a lot differently than the Where's My Refund updates. The transcript system updates starting at 12 a.m. There's usually a few updates as it starts to transfer the information from returns to the transcript system. And then the biggest round of updates occurs between 4 a.m. and like 8 a.m. is when the biggest round of transcript updates occurs. And then throughout the day, from like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., it can still update. So there are times when people will check their transcript at, say, like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and they don't see an 846. And then they wake up at like 8 a.m. and they check and there's still no 846. But then they check at like 2 p.m. and all of a sudden there's an 846 code. So it does update. It does like trickle updates throughout the day. It's a lot different than the Where's My Refund, which only updates in the morning between the hours of 3 and 6 a.m. Once that update occurs, so say the update on Where's My Refund happened at 4:50 a.m., it's not updating again for the rest of the day. That's not the same way. It's not the same way the transcript system updates. That updates throughout the day. And it starts at 12 a.m., as early as 12 a.m. There was someone that claimed last week that their transcript updated at like 10:30 p.m. The day before it was supposed to update, but they never confirmed that with anyone, so I don't know if they were just trolling everybody. But I'm going to call it a night, I think, on this stream. I just wanted, like I said, I wanted to cover the Path Act timeline. So we'll be here on Thursday. If any breaking news happens that's going to affect anybody this year, I will certainly continue to post the videos on it. I thank you all that did tune in. For those of you that tune in later, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And we will definitely see you on Thursday night for our first Path Act weekly batch transcript update party. We got to find a better name for that. All right, everyone. Have a great night.